Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to all you out came out there pushing this word with all truth and sincerity. And I want to go into a lesson. I was reading that Matthew 8 a couple minutes ago, and you know, I ain't have a lesson planned, but you know, speaking for myself, that'd be the best lessons when you don't have them planned, but you're just reading and the Most High Spirit give you a lesson, you know. So that's what I want to touch on, this account that I came across as I was reading Matthew 8, you know. And you know how they say in the world, the calm before the storm, right? You see, when you're in peace and you are right, you secure before difficulty or destruction come. You see? But what I want to touch on in this lesson, getting that example from Yahushai, is that it's not the calm before the storm, it's keeping calm during the storm, man. You see? And that's that same mindset. Well, let's get this. That's that same mindset that we should have. This Philippians 2 and 5, it says, "Let this mind be in you, which was also in Mashiach Yahushai." You know? So I want to go ahead and get that account of the situation Yahushai and his disciples was in as they was going through the storm, but Yahushai kept calm, and that's the perfect example to take. Because yes, they was going through a literal storm, and Yahushai kept his cool, patient. You see? But what's the storm we going through, man? Our trials, the tribulation, affliction, just like the scriptures say, the furnace of adversity, right? The fiery trial, which is the trials. Oh, that's the spirit. Let's grab this real quick, right? Because water and fire is symbolic for the things that we have to go through in this truth. You see? So just as Yahushai kept calm during the actual storm, if we had that mind as Yahushai had, as the Most High have, you see, the great men of the scriptures have, then while we going through our storm, our trials, afflictions, tribulation, the hell we got to catch, we go keep calm doing that, man. You know? Because Yahushai gave us the example. But before I get the account, I want to grab this real quick, just to back up that point. This is 2nd Esdras 7 and 6. It says, "There is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things." And what's this city talking about? That's talking about the kingdom of heaven, man. Full of all good things, things we can't even fathom. So this is talking about the kingdom of heaven right here, which we are trying to reach, right? It says, "The entrance thereof is narrow," right? It says, "The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall." I'm telling you, it's easy to fall out. It's easy to lose sight. It's easy to slip up. You know, it says the entrance is narrow. Like Yahushua said, broad is the way that leadeth unto destruction, but narrow is the way that leadeth unto life, man, roughly paraphrasing. So it's telling you this entrance that we walking on is leadeth unto life, which is that place, that city that's built, full of all good things, the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of Israel, man, salvation. But let's see what's the path that we have to go through in order to receive these things that's stored up in that city, man. And then I get the account. Is we're back in 2nd Esdras 7 and 7. It says, I start at 6. "There is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as," so it's about to give us a comparison or liken this path to the kingdom to something. Let's see what it liken it unto. It says, "The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand." The fire, right? It says, "And on the left a deep water." Now what's these things symbolic for, man? The fire and the water. Hey, just so happened, what was the first death when the Most High flooded the world? Water. What's gonna be the second death? Fire, man. So while we going through these things, that's symbolic for our trials and tribulation that we gotta go through, the hell that we gotta catch. Quick precept. This is Acts 14. Just to back that up in 22, it says, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of the Most High. So the scripture said, we must, not maybe or might, we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of the Most High. Not a little bit, but much tribulation. You see? And what's that kingdom again that we talking about? In 2nd Ezra, that city that's building, man. So in order to enter into the kingdom, that city, we have to go through what? Tribulation, which is the fire and that water, man. That storm that we got to go through. That fiery furnace. You see? Back in 2nd Ezra 7:7, the entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water. And only one path between them both. You can't get around it. You can't, you know what I mean? You can't parachute into the kingdom and fall, you know what I mean, on a building. No, you have to, there's only one path, man. And what's that path? Yahweh Shai, he that door. You see? And what he said, we gotta drink of that cup he drunk of, man. The servant ain't greater than the master. So it's one way we have to go, and through that way is a tough way, man. It says, and only one path between them both, even between the fire and the water. You gotta go through it. We gotta go through it, Salakia, we gotta go through it, man. Through that much tribulation, it says, so small that there could but one man go there at once. Like it says in Philippians 2:12, work out our own salvation with fear and trembling. We can't help nobody else go through the path. It says only enough space for one man to go. You see, telling us what? As that one man going, he got to focus on every step. Like Apostle Gabar always say, every step in this truth got to be calculated. Like we walking on a tightrope, man. You see? But the point I wanted to get out of that is that, yes, on the way to the kingdom, man, we got to go through fire, which is the trials, tribulation, afflictions. Same thing as water, man. Deep water, it said, the trials, afflictions, the hell we got to catch. But the point I want to make is, as we see now, we got to go through this water and fire. What's the mindset we should have while we going through these things, man? And what's the greatest example? Yahweh Shai. Now I want to get when him and his disciples actually going through a storm, what was his mindset like? And what the scripture said earlier, let this mind be in us as was in Mashiach Yahweh Shai. So I'm going to go ahead and grab it. This is a quick, 4 or 5 verses. You know, but this is Matthew 8:23. This is talking about Yahweh Shai and his disciples. It says, and when he was entered into a ship, his disciples followed him, and behold, there arose a great tempest in the sea. It says, and so much that the ship was covered with the waves, but he was asleep. You see that? Read that again. It says, and when he was entered into a ship, talking about Yahweh Shai, his disciples followed him. And behold, so while they was in the boat crossing the water, it says, behold, there arose a great tempest in the sea. In other words, a great storm, man. Waves, you know. It says, and so much that the ship was covered with the waves, but he was asleep. So picture that. It ain't like no yachts. They wasn't riding around in a yacht, a speedboat back then with a motor on it, you know. No, man, it was, I don't know exactly, but it wasn't no, you know what I mean? You feel me? So waves coming in, water coming in, you got to, like Apostle Gabar always say, put ourselves in the scriptures. We got to vision it, you know. Water's coming into the boat. Now picture his disciples. Yahweh Shai knew what was going on. Hey, the same thing us. Because he told us, because we reading out the scriptures, we know what's going on. We know the prophecies. We know the things that's to come. So as they coming, we should have this mind, keeping calm. You know, with them church they used to have, like, a couple years ago, keep calm, so-and-so. Well, keep calm. Yahweh Shai already told us what to do. You see? But think about his disciples. They ain't really know for sure. So they was worried, which we about to read. Waves coming in. Matter of fact, let me see what this word, see if they got some in the blue letter. Because it says, and behold, there arose a great tempest in the sea, and so much that the ship was covered with waves, but he was asleep. I'm going to see what they got for tempest in the blue letter. Let me see. It's G4578 seismos. It says a shaking, a commotion, a earthquake, a tempest. So it wasn't no small little waves, drops coming into the boat, man. Right? Let me see what it got for the root word. And the root word is sail. And it says to shake, to agitate, to cause to tremble. Something to scare you, man. Something to put fear into you. Think about it, man. Probably the sun was setting or it was nighttime. So, matter of fact, because, it had to be close to the night. Well, it had to be night because if you go to verse 16, it says it was even. It was evening. And this is verses down, so nighttime hit. So this was nighttime, man. A storm, you in the middle of a storm. It says to be thrown into tremor, to quake, to fear, to agitate the mind, something to trouble you. Just like all these things we going through is stuff to trouble us. Right? But let's see how Yahawashi reacted to this, man. And what's the mind we have to have as we going through our tempest, through our fire, right? It says, this is Matthew 8:23, and when he was entered into a ship, his disciples followed him, and behold, there arose a great tempest in the sea, insomuch that the ship was covered with the waves, water all in the. Think you about to drown. The boat about to sink. It says, but he was asleep, and Yahawashi was asleep. When you sleep, you comfort, you resting. He was resting through the storm. That's why be calm during the storm. Right? It says, and his disciples came to him and awoke him, saying, Lord, save us, we perish. So they was like, ran to him, shaking him, probably shaking his shoulder and shit. They're like, Lord, save us, man, we about to die. Scared. You see? But watch what Yahawashi tell them, man. And his disciples came to him and awoke, saying, Lord, save us, we perish. And he said unto them, why are ye fearful, O ye of little faith? Why is you worried? You don't see me resting right here? You think if something really was happening, you don't think I hope you would do something about it? You see? I'm going to continue. It says, and he said unto them, why are you fearful, O ye of little faith? Then he arose and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm. But when the men marveled, it says, but the men marveled, saying, what manner of man is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him, man? Because that's what we understand now. How was Yahawashi able to do this? Think about it. The disciples, they was new. They was new to it. They just seeing miracles and all this from Yahawashi, just as everybody else was, man. They didn't have what Yahawashi was doing on the scene, the things that was written aforetime like we have. They was just moving in the spirit, going. You see? So they didn't know, our faith being tested right now, y'all. We know the Lord God. No, man, it was real life. Real life. The things we go through in real life, we being tested. Some things, now we had the scriptures to know, okay, the Most High is just trying us. But the point is, it says, and he said, why are ye fearful, O ye of little faith? Then he arose and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm. Telling you how Yahawashi was calm through the storm, man. Because he knew he had the power. That's why they said, but the men marveled, saying, what man is this, that even the winds and the sea obey him? Because we know Yahawashi, Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, and Yahawashi got power over everything. The Most High said he giving all judgment to Yahawashi, man. So why should we worry when we go through things? Why was Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael, which they slave Babylonian names was what? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Why wasn't they burned, or none of their clothes, none of their hair was burned when they got thrown into the fiery furnace? Because who controlled the elements? Who controlled that fire? The Most High Yahweh. And who did he send? Who did the Most High send us, man? Real quick. Who did the Most High send to save them out of that fire? I'm going to just go to the point. This is Daniel 3, and this is Nebuchadnezzar, because they threw 3 men up in there, right? Let me see. Daniel 3 and 24. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished, and rose up in haste, and spake, and said unto his counselors, Did not we cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, True, O king. He said, Lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt, and the form of the 4th is like the son of the Most High, man. So that's why they ain't get burnt, because the Most High sent Yahushua to save them. That's why the disciples ain't drowned in the tempest, because the Most High had Yahushua there to save them. You see? Why you think Daniel didn't get bit by the lion and the lions then? Because the Most High was there to save him, man. Because who control the lion's mouth? Who control the fire? Who control the water? Who control the sea? Who control everything? Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, man. That's why the disciples said, What manner of man is this that even the wind and the sea obey him, man? And we have to know that when we going through our things, man. Like I had a situation, legal situation in Babylon, so I'm in court. And, I ain't got to go into it, but I'm in court, and I just put up a prayer to the Most High, like, man, straight up, you control, man, the heavens and the earth. It's an easy thing for you. You see, it's an easy thing for you to control the mind and control the speech that's coming through this judge right now. And guess what? Whatever, I had to, go through, it was favored into my hands, man. The Wadi Ba'ashim Yahushua from that, man. He saved me from a little situation. But the point is, we have to know these things. That's why we have to be calm during the storm. And what's the ultimate storm, man? The time of Jacob's trouble. You see? Hey, what the scripture said when the enemy, man, this is and it's all through the spirit. Like I said, I was just reading, and this one of the best lessons be, man, when it's through the spirit. Because what the scriptures say, when the biggest flood coming, man, this is Revelation. Let me see where it's at. 12 and 12. No, this ain't the one. Okay, this the one I want in Isaiah. That's a good one too, because it's going to the same thing when Esau come with his great wrath, because he knows but he have but a short time. And when he come, that's gonna be likened unto a flood. Right? Let's prove that this is Isaiah. Let me see. Isaiah 50:6 and 19. So shall they fear the name of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun, when the enemy shall come in like a flood. You see that? When the enemy, Esau, Edom, coming like a flood, that tempest, right? It says, the spirit of Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him. And that's when the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua gonna be there to help us out, man. We know when we going through that fire, when we going through this water, we straight, because we got that protection, man. This is Isaiah 43 and 1. It says, But now thus saith Yahweh that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Israel, fear not. Right? Because what it's saying, Timothy, the Most High haven't given us the spirit of fear, man, but of power, I want to say of love and of a sound mind, man. Roughly paraphrasing. It says, And he that formed thee, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed thee, I have called thee by thy name, thou art mine. That's the point. When thou passest through the waters, just like the disciples passing through the water with the tempest, water coming all in a boat, we shouldn't fear. Why? Because it says, when thou passest through the water, I will be with thee. Yahushua will be with us like he was with them. Lord willing, you see? Just like he was with them, told them, chill. You straight. It says, and through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. When they was passing through that sea, it said the water came into the boat. Waves was in a boat, that it was in a boat. But it didn't overflow them. They didn't sink. Why? Because it says, I will be with thee, and through the rivers they shall not overflow thee, man. The Most High Yahweh and Yahushua ain't gonna let nothing happen to us. Look at the generations of old. Did he despise any that called upon him? The answer is no. But remember, as we got earlier, on the way to this kingdom is fire and water, right? Well, he ain't just gonna help us through the water, but he gonna help us through the fire too. Because continuing on in the verse, it says, when thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee, and through the rivers they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burnt, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee, man. Just like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they wasn't burnt because Yahushua was there. Just like the disciples, they ain't get flooded and sink and perish because Yahushua was there. Guess what? When Esau come with his great wrath, when the enemy coming like a flood, we ain't gonna get drowned out. Why? Because Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, gonna be that for us, man. When the missiles come, when the fire come, we ain't gonna get burnt. Why? Because Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, gonna be that for us, man. Ba'ashim Rachakwadash. So, going into the point, we already through the spirit keeping calm before the storm. But the most important thing is to be calm during the storm, man. Why? Because wisdom and knowledge gonna be the stability of our times. We gonna be stable because we know what to do. The Most High said, my servant shall eat, my servant shall drink, my servant shall rejoice in that day, man. Calm during the storm. We're going to be calm during all hell breaking loose. Now, of course, we're going to go through things, but guess what? In order for the miracle to happen, for Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to be taken out of the fire, they had to get put in the fire first, like the brother in Birmingham be going into. In order for the disciples to be saved and not drown in that tempest with water, get in the boat, they had to be put in that situation first. In order for Daniel to be saved from the lion's den, he had to be put in the lion's den first. So telling us during Jacob's trouble, in order for us, the Most High, a miracle to be written about us, we're going to have to be put in certain situations so the miracle will work, that the Most High through Yahushua going to save us from that. And that's going to be written in the kingdom, man. You see? Yeah, man. I'm going to go ahead and end it off with this. Man, this is 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. There have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But the Most High is faithful, who would not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. So the things we going through, these regular people, heathens in this world going through it, man. But we know why we going through it and what we fighting for. But it says, but the Most High is faithful, who would not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. So in other words, telling us the Most High ain't gonna put nothing on our plate that we can't handle, man. If he knew Yahushua couldn't handle being crucified for the whole nation, he wouldn't have put that on Yahushua. But Yahushua can handle it. That's why he was the one who did it. Nobody else can do that but Yahushua. If he knew Daniel couldn't handle the lions, then he wouldn't have put him up in there, man. You see, if he knew Judas Maccabees and the Israelites couldn't handle the great army of the Greeks, he wouldn't have put them in that situation. But they all conquered them. They all overcame, man. And in there's many situations, man. There's a multitude, man. From Genesis to Revelation, the Most High, he loved that underdog, man. So he ain't gonna put us through nothing that we can't handle. So if we going through something, guess what? We can handle it. If we going through it, we can handle it. Hey, man, if we in a concentration camp, we about to be put in the guillotine, guess what? We can handle it. Because the Most High will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. If you can't handle getting your head cut off, he ain't gonna put you in that situation. Why? Because he is faithful, man. You see? If you can't handle getting thrown into a concentration camp, taken from your wife, your son, your daughter, he ain't gonna put you in that situation, but go allow y'all to be together in that time, man. It says, but we're with the temptation. So while we in the temptation, while we going through that water and the fire, it says, but we're with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it, man. He gonna make a way to escape that we can get through it. Why? Because if we going through it, it's already written from the foundations of the world to get through it. I can't go through nothing that the apostles went through or gonna go through, man. You see? They on that level because they can handle that, man. And shit, we on our level because we can handle our portion. Right? Matter of fact, man, I want to end it off with this, man. This is Sirach 2. Matter of fact, I might end it off with 2. Sirach 2 and 10. Look at the generations of old and see. And how we look at the generations of old. Could we take a time machine, go back and look at Abraham? And man, it's talking about by reading. And when we read, we gotta have that vision. But it says, look at the generations of old. So when we read, it says, and see, did ever any trust in Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him, man? And the answer is nobody, man. But I'm going to get the answer from the scriptures, though. And I'm going to end it with this one. This is, it's a lot if I'm talking fast, but, man, excited, man. Yahushua told us to be of good cheer because he had overcome the world. So that's why we should be calm during this storm. This is 1 Maccabees 2:51. Call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time. So shall ye receive great honor in the everlasting name and that's what we striving for, like our forefathers, man. Right? Verse 61. And thus consider ye throughout all generations that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome, man. So if we trust in Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai and the prophecies and the things that's to come by Hashem HaKodash, then we ain't gonna be overcome by the water and by this fire, man. So hey, be calm during the storm. Speaking to myself first and foremost, but Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to all you out here out there pushing this word with all truth and sincerity. And with that, shalom.